Hey everyone, welcome to 44th episode of We're All in the Same Boat. I'm your host, Luke Roxwold, and today I am here with Michael.
Hey, what's up?
And Austin.
Hey, how's it going?
And as always, you can check us out on SoundCloud and iTunes and leave us a review to be a good fan, please.
Do it.
We're trying something a little different today. We got webcams on so I can see Michael.
Woo!
And that's it, because Austin doesn't have a webcam.
You can't see Austin.
And
Because
it's
his lights are
different.
off.
It's
I'm
the small things in life that make you feel good.
Yeah, I'm less comfortable now because I know someone. I know someone could see what I look like right now, and it's like, it's like a spotlight.
What I was trying to say is that you probably feel better since you don't see me.
That's right. I'm really happy about that.
I was actually
Yes.
excited to know what you looked like. You look like you look just like Luke, or do you look like Scott,
I
or are you a third entity?
I can see some of myself in Luke looking at him now, but I'm a bit more scraggly looking.
Austin is Luke's
Do you
brother for people
Do you
at home.
still have like the Moses beard?
It's actually trimmed. I think your beard might be longer than mine right now.
What?
Dang.
There was one picture, and it was like,
you said I look
it
like
was-
Gandalf. And
there was a picture that had
Let me see if I
me-
can find it.
yeah, it had me, my dad, my brother, and Austin. I had this short little beard, and they all had these like Gandalf beards. It was so weird.
I always pictured
wasn't
Austin
ready.
with a big beard, like that's exactly how I pictured him. Kind of like a
Yeah.
dwarf, like a tall dwarf.
Yeah. Oh.
But I guess a tall dwarf would look like a wizard.
I just
It
found
is
the
kinda-
picture you sent of me at Barron's, and I look like Rasputin.
Yeah, go ahead and send that to Michael, that picture.
All
I might
right,
tweet these too. I'll save them so that I can tweet them out. We're going to tweet out a picture of Austin,
Oh,
my
snap.
brother. Where'd you send it? Oh, the group chat? I don't have the group chat. I don't have that open. Send it to the main chat.
You press escape, it goes away. It goes to it.
Is there a way to just send it directly to Discord on my phone?
I think so.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't care.
okay.
I'm losing interest in this topic. So,
Yes, good idea.
you were talking about
Beards.
driving earlier today and having more frustrations because you apparently are always driving.
I am always
This is
driving.
a thing. This is a thing that you just seem to. What if are you secretly like a like a truck driver? Like this whole time, it's just been like all these stories of these jobs have been fake, and you've really just been driving a truck.
I'm actually not even home right now. I'm
I
just
thought
in
you
the
were
truck.
gonna ask if he's a getaway driver.
The light you see from the top of my room is not really my light. It's the sunroof.
I thought it's.
It's a giant truck. The
Yeah,
room
just-
is huge.
Well,
No, he's the other person's driving right now, and he's
yeah,
in
exactly.
the container.
I'm in the back, the box.
The storage
No.
unit in the back.
I just go to a lot of stuff. I have a lot of rehearsals, and everything I do is half an hour from me.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple weeks have been pretty not busy, but this past week and then this week I have like rehearsals out the wazoo. I was coming back from rehearsals today. I stopped at Chick-fil-A to get some nourishment, and I don't know. It's always annoys the crap out of me when you put your turn signal on, and somebody's like behind you, but like kind of close, and instead of slowing down, they speed up. I think I probably talked about this on the podcast before, but it just annoys me every time. They speed up, so then they're just next to you for like longer. They don't even speed up, and it's not that like whoosh, like go like past you. They're just like, oh, I was gonna be like awkwardly next to you for a few minutes while you're trying to get in the lane I'm in, so that
It's like,
way
I'm
don't.
just gonna match your speed for a second here, and you're like, why
Yeah.
can't you? I've had it where I'll be pulling forward, and somehow they start pulling forward,
Yeah,
and so then I slow down, and then they just kind of like linger, and it's like, get out of the way!
I don't understand. I think people they think it's like a race. Like, I'm not letting you get in front of me.
I remember I
Stupid
once
idiot.
was in traffic and I was trying to change lanes, and this woman, she had plenty of space in front of her. She like looked over at me and did like a double take and then sped up, and it was one of those things of like, oh no, can't let someone else get in front of me.
That's right. She's like, I gotta win. I think
beard scared her.
maybe she was
That large beard, I don't know if you're large, but that bearded man with a large beard is chasing after me.
She thought you were coming after her or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like driving in general. I had something happen to me the other day that irritated me, but I don't know if I can remember what it is.
How people use turn signals really annoys me, because
Like when they
like-
don't.
Well, that's the thing is because it's not that they don't. It's that they'll be like, well, I'm in the left turn lane, so I guess I should use my turn signal. It's like, yeah, I kind of figured out at this point.
Oh yeah, like after they've made it, they've completed the whole. And the whole movement's been completed, and they're like, by the way, this is what I was doing. It's like,
No, like I think it means like if you're
Okay.
in the turn lane, you can only turn left, and they put that turn
and
signal on.
like that's when they'll have like I've seen a guy like just switching lanes constantly. Then he goes into the left turn, or no, it's the right turn lane when he did it, and he puts his turn signal on. Which just made like, so you do know how to use that thing.
so it's one of those things where it's like you used it the one time I could have been okay with you not using it, even though you should use it like every time. But it's like if I had to choose one of the times for you to not use a turn signal, it would have been that time. Thanks a lot, man.
We had,
Eat that.
I think it was yesterday. There was a guy who also made me really mad because he would like, he turned on his turn signal like as he's switching lanes, but it's like, that's not what that's for. You're supposed to be like, I'm about to switch lanes, and then you move over, rather than like, in case you're wondering why I'm coming over into your lane, it's because I'm switching lanes.
It's almost like if someone was, let's say, just as a funny example, I needed a toaster, and so I just went over to Michael's house and I stole it. And then the next day I was like, hey, I borrowed your toaster. It's like,
Or, no, the
why
next day
did
like,
you
hey.
tell me after you took the toaster? You
Well,
know?
no, it's like the next day you're like, hey, can I borrow your toaster?
Yeah. That's exactly because it's like make the lane change, and then you're like, just letting you know, just making the turn.
Or it's like, you go to take the toaster, and then as you're walking out of the house, Michael comes in and you're like, by the way, I'm borrowing your toaster. Thanks.
I guess, no, Michael's right. It would be a question. It would be like, hey, can I borrow this toaster? Hey, can I pick this thing up? Like you're holding it. Can I pick this up? Yeah, I feel like driving, I've talked about this before where I was saying that, like, I know road rage is a big thing. I don't really get road rage, though. I just get, like, disappointed and, like... I'm like, I do the thing with my hand.
Not
I'm
road
like,
raged.
Yeah.
Just disappointed.
I do the hand like, really? Like people are pulling in. It's like, okay, sure. All right, come on over. Whatever, man. Sure.
Well-
Seriously? It's just like this kind of like mild disappointment, frustration of like, I just am disappointed with what this person did.
One time I got really mad at somebody because I was in the right turn lane and it was empty, so I was going a bit faster. And then he just pulls into the lane with no turn signal, so I almost hit him because it's just like, okay, it's an open lane moving. Oh, now there's another car moving in here who's like 2 feet in front of me.
Good. Did you kill him? No, he doesn't answer. Good joke. Doesn't answer.
I mean, what I was thinking is I said I almost hit him. And then you said, did you kill him? It's like, yes, after I finished what I was doing, I drove to where he was.
That's right. I followed him to where he was going.
Have you guys ever like flipped somebody off while driving, or yelled bad words at them?
I think I did that to the woman who cut me off in the traffic that I told you about earlier.
I was trying to think if I don't think I have. I've stared people down. Like I'll look at them. Like, you know, people are like, don't make eye contact if someone is, you know, like that's like the rule of the road. You're not supposed to like make eye contact with people. But like if I'm driving and then some person is doing something that's really annoying, for some reason I just really want to know the type of person that would do that. Like I just want to know what they look like. I don't know why. Just like, oh, is this an old person? Is this a young person? Who does this? What do you look like?
Dude, have you noticed that like whenever you stop at a stoplight and if you look at any car, like they always look back at you, like they can feel it. I test it out all the time. Every time I stop, I look at people. But one time I looked at this guy, and he wasn't looking, so I looked away and looked back real fast just to see if he would like look. And right when I turned my head back around, his eyes were already staring into mine. I was like, ah!
It's like a horror movie where it's like,
Exactly.
done. Oh. I think it's funny too because it's like if someone pulls in front of me or does something obnoxious and I want to know what they look like, it would be like if someone robbed me and they're wearing a mask and I'd be like, take that mask. Who? What type of person robs me? I need to see your face. That's what it feels like.
With all my stuff. Just let me see your face.
That's right. Before you leave with my toaster, let me see your face. Driving.
Someone call the cops. Oh, dude, I don't know. I saw this like cartoon a long time ago. It was like the two robbers with masks on, in the bank, and he's like, "Hey, dude, like this teller looks just like you, man. You can be your twin." And the other guy's like, "Dude." They're wearing masks.
Oh man.
When you brought up cartoon, that reminded me of this really old Disney cartoon about driving, which I remember Luke told me about it a long time ago, and I hadn't seen it until more recently, where it's like Goofy, but this is like so old that he's not Goofy yet, and he doesn't have like the Goofy voice or anything. But it's like, this is the adventure of Mr. Walker and Mr. Wheeler. And it's so funny because it's set in like the 1920s, but like the jokes are all still relevant today. Like nothing has changed. Because it's all about like how he's this perfectly nice person when he's just walking down the sidewalk, but he gets behind a car and suddenly a radical change happens and he becomes Mr. Wheeler.
Well, it's funny because he like it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type thing where he's just kind of like walking around, he's smiling, he's seeing butterflies, all that stuff, and then he gets into the car, and as the car starts, it's like the engine coming on is like what changes him into like this, like his teeth get sharp or something. He's like getting angry. He's like, "Oh yeah, let's drive the car." You know? and then as he's driving the car, he's like wheeling around, like yelling at people, and kind of applicable to what we're talking about right now.
Get off the road. It has like the whole thing where it's like, I think someone else says, like, "What, you think you own the road?" And he's like, "Of course I own the road.
I pay my taxes."
That's right.
I think that's literally what they say in the cartoon.
Nice.
I think I've seen that one. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. And then he gets in an accident, so then he has to walk, and then he turns back into Mr. Walker. And he tries to cross the street.
And everyone else is Mr. Wheeler at that point, and they're trying to run him over.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how life is.
I'm trying to think. Guys said something, and it reminded me of a story that I. Oh. So this is kind of random. It's totally off topic, but I think it's kind of funny. So, in Washington, weed is legal, which means there are weed shops. And so the other day, my friend was like picking up his new car and stuff, and so I was like riding with him to kind of see like what the new car was like. And on the way home, he was like, "Hey, look, I'm gonna stop by the weed shop and pick up some weed." So we go in there, and it's this really weird looking place. Like it's got like a green door, like obviously green leaves there, right?
Yeah.
So we go in there, and they have to check your IDs because it's kind of like a bar, and it's really like tightly regulated and stuff. Are you taking a picture of the podcast, Michael? Good.
At natural.
Give me it. Cheese. So anyway, so basically we go in there, and then there's this woman who is sitting and she's checking the IDs, right? And, just casually I pull my ID out and I'm like, here you go. There's my ID.
Wait, you're getting weed?
No, I have to get into the store. I have
Okay.
to give her my card. It's like a bar. It's like you can't just go to sit at a bar. They're going to card you probably.
Okay.
So I go in there and he gives her his card, and then I give her my card. And just as she's like looking for the date, trying to make conversation, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And how usually people say fine or like good or like I'm all right, like everything's great, with these standard answers. She says, "I'm outstanding." I'm like, "Whoa."
She must have been a Marine.
Good day.
I was like, that's quite a phrase. And so then I realized she said, "I'm outstanding," and she was inside and she was sitting. And so I said that to her. She was like, "I'm outstanding." I was like, that's kind of weird because you said you're outstanding. You're literally inside and sitting down. And so I said that to her, and she didn't quite get it. She was like on edge, like, "Whoa, what? What are you saying? What are you trying to say?" And then like we all sat there, and I was just kind of a funny thing I'm noticing right now.
Dad joke status.
And then she just goes, "Go get your weed."
You need
See,
this.
at first I thought you were gonna say like you realized she was saying "I'm out" standing because she was like standing at the door or something.
No,
And,
she's
like-
literally sitting
the
down.
opposite.
It was like you
no,
could
I mean
not
like I
have
thought
said
you were
a more
saying
perfect thing.
No, what I mean is I thought you initially where I thought you were gonna go with that is that she wasn't saying she was good. In fact, she was kind of saying the opposite because it's like, "Well, I'm outstanding,"
Oh yeah, like
whereas
sarcasm.
I would rather be inside sitting.
That would've been
Something
good.
like that was where I thought you were
okay.
going with it.
I guess I should have said. Well, I knew if I said it, she was sitting, it would give it away. But
Yeah,
Well,
that was
yeah.
good. I have a friend. Every time I see him, he tells the same joke. He's like, there was this farmer. He was missing, and they were looking for him. And he's a really good farmer, and they found him outstanding in his field. 'Cause he's,
yeah, I heard a very similar joke to that, where it's like, hey, did you hear that the scarecrow guy just got promoted? Why? Oh, he was just outstanding in this field. Yuck. Jokes.
Yes.
Dad joke time.
So do all of you guys walk fast?
I walk fast.
It
I walk
depends.
relatively fast because I have really long legs, but I don't like purposely move my legs quickly.
I mean,
Like when you're walking down the street, do you want to push people out of the way sometimes?
I was talking about this earlier. But
See,
why?
I can walk fast, but I think generally
Oh,
I
wait.
just kind of.
I know why I was thinking about it.
I'm probably one of those people you want to push out of the way.
You're like looking up at the ceiling. It's like, get out of the way!
I saw this meme on Instagram. This is why I was thinking about it. This guy is like walking, and it's like the caption was when you're walking behind a slow walker, and this guy's walking like in a field behind this woman. And he's like, "Oh man, like I bet you can hear my masculine footsteps. I hope I don't scare her. Maybe I should walk slower so she doesn't think I'm like trying to follow her. Well, maybe she'll just think I'm like a stalker from behind. So maybe I'll just try to like run past her and overtake her. But no, then she'll think I'm attacking her. Oh no! And he
She'll
just goes-
turn around.
He starts freaking out. He's just like, "I'm not a stalker!" and just like runs.
She turns around and she's like, that's exactly what a stalker would say.
No, like yeah, I definitely walk kind of fast, and I don't really wait for people to get out of the way. I just get around them.
Clothesline them.
No, like you know,
run through
I
'em.
kind of zoom through. I hope I move fast enough that I'm not actually disrupting their gait. I've had people tell me like, dude, just like let them walk first. I'm like, this is the best for everyone. If we all just go, then we're all going.
Yeah, I do that
See-
kind of beeline thing where I like zip in and just.
I put my hands in
mean,
front of me like a shark, like
Yeah,
like
mean-
a bow of shit
Whoa.
just kind of slide through them.
Like if I have something I want to get to, I can walk really fast. But generally, it's like, well, I don't have anywhere to go, so I'll just
think
take
my
my
natural
time.
gait is just
You're
kinda
one of
fast.
those people that are in my way when I'm trying to do something.
I mean, that's what I said earlier. It's like I'm probably the guy that you're all like, get out of the way.
well, the worst thing is people that they're. It's like I'm like almost always trying to go somewhere, so I tend to be moving pretty. I probably move too fast. You know, like when I'm getting out of the car, it takes like 1 second. You know, it's like cars
I don't
parked,
know.
keys out of the car, stop. I'm out of the car and close the door within a second. It's like I'm out.
Like all in one
You
slow
know.
motion.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's not like, oh wow, those 4 seconds that you didn't waste getting out of the car are really gonna help you. But the worst people for me are the ones that like sway walk, because then I can't even anticipate like my football rush around them, because they keep like they're like blocking me in, you know, like stopping me from doing that, and then they're just going slow. I'm like, oh, especially when it's like 4 of them, because then it's just this swaying
Surrounded.
wave of people. Yeah, and they're taking up the whole sidewalk. I'm like, oh, how do I get past these people? You know?
That reminds me of a time at work. There's this guy who he'd like listen to music while he was doing his stuff, and he'd be like dancing. And I don't know. I'm like the one person who's just super annoyed by him, dancing and having a good time because.
Look at this guy having fun.
Stop having a good time.
Well, to
Well,
some
at work.
extent, I can say it's
Be miserable.
justified because it would be like I need to put up something on the shelf that he's standing in front of, and he's literally dancing into my way. Where it's like, okay, he's over here, I'm gonna go over here, but now he's shifted over to that side in his dance,
Right.
and he's always like clapping and making loud noise and
Is
bothering me.
he
with
like
it.
walking over to you like, hey Austin, what's up, man? Like dancing, or is he just dancing oblivious to where you were walking?
It's more the oblivious to what is going on around him sort of thing.
I don't get
Well,
people who walk around wearing headphones all the time.
I do that.
I don't get you. 'Cause, like, I get like if you're
It's-
working, like I listen to music while I work, but I prefer to use a speaker that I can still hear what's going on around me. But people be like,
I mean, I
walking
can't do that in
around.
an office. Like, just hey, everyone, this is what you're gonna
Yeah.
listen to now.
Well, yeah, if you're working, that's one thing. But people just like walking around or just like hanging out with people. Like, I hate when you're talking to somebody and they're just wearing headphones the whole time, and you're like, are
Yeah.
you listening
Okay.
to
So
me?
yeah, I'll have one headphone in, and then usually people talk to me, I'll immediately take the headphone out. You know, and so
You take one out to show, like, oh yeah, I'm listening to you,
yeah, it's not
is
just like
me.
I'll just leave these in here.
bridging.
It's like-
bridging the way.
Are you hearing? It's like if someone had a hearing aid, they switched it off. Like they're like turning the knob down. You're like, are you listening to what I'm saying?
Did you turn it up
but
or turn it down?
The pet peeve that I don't like is when, like, something I think is worse than that is when, like, you're on the bus or something. I have a whole bunch of pet peeves for people on the bus, but like, we're all on the bus together,
We're
like
all on the
as
same
a
bus.
unit, right? Yeah, like a unit.
Yeah, your team.
And then instead of listening to your music on your headphones, you play it through the phone speaker. That
is
makes
the
me
most
so
annoying.
mad because it's like, oh, you're just gonna like let her. Hey, this is the song you will all listen
This is
to
the bus
now.
song.
Yeah.
See, the thing that bothers me about that is that my phone speaker's not that good. I'd much rather listen to my music on headphones if I could. So it's
Right.
like, why would you choose that?
Everybody should.
Have you
should
no
that.
standards?
Or they
Like-
watch a Snapchat video like in public, just play it, like just play it out loud.
Well, sometimes,
know?
sometimes you gotta watch. You gotta communicate. I understand that if it's like a video message someone sends you, but you gotta be as courteous as you can.
What do you watch Snapchat videos just in public, just like
don't-
you're at the restaurant and everyone can hear it, or like
No.
a quiet room?
If I do, I always hate opening Snapchats in public.
Someone
I don't
watched
want-
it in.
I
I
don't
watched
want
someone
anyone to
watch
know
a
that I
Snapchat
Snapchat.
video in the elevator. In the elevator.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. When I watch a Snapchat video, I try to never do it in public because even though I do Snapchat, I don't want anyone to know that I Snapchat. Like when I'm out, I don't want to see people see me taking selfies and stuff. So I
Probably
like
shouldn't have told that on a podcast if you
That's
didn't want
okay.
people to know.
add me on Snapchat, guys. Actually, I don't have the Snapchat on my phone anymore because the update sucks. But
Oh man, the
yep,
protest.
they've been fired. But like if I have to watch a video, if like I'm in a conversation with somebody and they send me a video, I'll just like put it up to my ear as quiet as I can so no one knows what I'm listening to.
That's fair. That's fair. You're just like, I'm just like listening to a voicemail.
Yeah, I try to be as
Listening
courteous
to a
as possible.
voicemail,
You know?
everybody.
But yeah,
Um,
people with their speakers, and it never sounds good. It just sounds like all
Yeah.
treble.
Or like when people record concerts for their Snapchat story, like a
It's just
like what's the point?
like
Yeah, just
bass,
noise.
warbles, and
It's like yeah, it's like
screaming.
it's like a distorted bass, like a. And it's like what, and it's never one. It's the whole concert. It's like 40 minutes, and I'll look at that. You know, you can tell how many Snapchat stories.
Yeah.
There's like 40 of them.
You're
It's
like, never mind.
it doesn't even look cool. I can't even see the guy. I just see
It's just
lights
pixels and like
going around.
fuzzy sound. That's the weird thing about
pretty-
concerts. Like, you want to record concerts, you want to like, oh, I want to remember this and look back and like think about this show I went to. It was amazing. And you look back and you're like, oh, I love this song. And it's like,
I'm pretty sure
oh
that
yeah.
like, over phone recording, like Taylor Swift and Slayer sound exactly the same.
It's funny though because it's like, oh, I just want to remember what this concert was like, and then like years later they watch the video and they're like, did it suck that much?
One time I got a recording of me singing along with like my dad's phone. I was a kid. I listened back to it. And it was like the worst singing ever. I was like,
Oh, you're like, no.
we need to put like an audio
the
warning
weird
for
thing.
this one. I'm yelling a lot. But-
Any sort of like singing, like I've heard really good singers, but then like I was running the soundboard and so I could just isolate it, so I just heard their voice.
yeah.
Oh man, it hurts. Like because even good singers can sound really bad if they're not absolutely perfect. That's why recording can be so difficult
Oh yeah.
because if
Especially-
you're even just a hair off.
It's weird, like even if it's just not mixed well, like if like they're the loudest thing, sometimes it sounds just weird. But also like if the EQ on the mic isn't good, like, I've heard lots of just like flat recordings. Like often at churches they'll just record it. Excuse me, straight from the soundboard.
Right.
But it's not
Oh, yeah.
it's not after the mixer. It's before the mixer.
and there's no reverb on anything, so it all
There's
just
no reverb.
like
Nothing
goes
is mixed.
away.
It just sounds super bad. Like even the most amazing singers that I know sound super bad on it. It's
Yeah.
so weird. Kind of like hating your own voice when you hear it recorded, but like to the max. It's just like, wow, it actually does sound terrible, but not because I do, just because I do.
I
I
feel
mean-
like that. Oh, go ahead, Austin.
Well, have I brought up my theory that like everybody's recorded voice is how they actually sound, but like our brain like changes our own voice when we say stuff because we're like,
Oh, yeah.
no, I don't sound like that. I need to sound cool.
It's also
and then-
because your the sound of your voice like resonates in your skull. And since your skull's connected to your ears, you hear more bass.
When you
and
when you
mids.
listen to your voice a lot, though, you start to kind of get used to the way it sounds. Like, so you hear it the way you
Yeah.
hear it, but when you hear the way it sounds, like on this podcast or in my vlogs or whatever it is that you do, I find that I can start to hear it in my head. Like as I'm talking, I go, oh, I know what this is going to sound like on the recording, which kind of helps a little bit. You know, you get kind of used to it, and you don't hate your voice quite as much. Because I used to hate my voice on video.
Yeah.
Now it's on video all the time and on podcasts. So
The worst thing with my voice is I always realize how fast I talk when I listen to myself.
that's the other thing I was gonna say. If you take, it's like basically take anything you say and multiply it by like 0.2. And it's like just a little faster, and you listen to it, especially pauses. Like for me, that's what I found out. Like my pauses were not, they were so short.
Yeah, you
that
feel like
when
it's
I
been like
listen
an
to my
eternity.
own voice, I'm like, oh, I don't get a breath. Like slow down for a second.
Yeah, I've been working on talking slow. I do pretty good, but if I get excited or if I have to say a long phrase that I know is like a lot of syllables, I'll just go as fast as I can.
I've been finding I have trouble enunciating things, like just in general, where I'll be like, hey, like, oh my gosh,
Right.
what just happened? Or
That's
like, I found a really weird thing where I'm speaking and I do the whole mix up the R and the L thing.
Oh no, like a 3-year-old.
I suppose they might do that as well. There's another group of people that do that who will not be named.
Yeah. They're like, I want to go down to the Wivel,
It's like the wiver.
play with my twux. I have a friend who has an otherwise really cool, normal, like adult voice. He's my age. He's like 25, 24, and he still does the R thing though. Like his R's are like
He has a-
W's.
Oh,
no,
really?
no, it's not R's. Like it's
Yeah,
L's
I know
and R's.
yours is R's, but I'm saying this guy, like he has a otherwise normal voice. Like he'll be like, oh yeah, I was connecting the Speako cable to the soundboard. Like otherwise
like,
it sounds
Speako.
totally normal.
I'll be speaking really
I think
fast.
it's like a speech impediment. Like I don't think they can't help it.
I think like he was never corrected when he was a kid because his siblings have the same thing.
Interesting. I don't know. I
But-
don't know what the reasoning is behind it, but I know people have that.
Well, like there's one time I don't know if this is what I said, but it was something where it was like I said "raff" instead of "laugh" or something like that. It's just like,
Oh wow,
oh
that's
my
weird.
gosh, I can't believe I
He's
did that.
rapping so hard.
Isn't that like the like stereotypical way to make fun of
Yes.
Asian accents?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
Yeah,
because
that-
of the way their
not-
language is
Not everyone
structured.
just thinks that you're racist. They don't know
I
you
mean,
can't talk.
I didn't say it. I didn't
know.
say that.
It's not stereotypical. It's because their language doesn't really use. I think the R's and L's are very similar or something. So they have, just like some people can't roll their R's. Like we can't really roll our R's unless we know how to.
Yeah.
And so because we just don't use it in our language, we don't roll our R's in our language. Oh, I said ours like Canadian. Ours. Roll ours. All these accents.
I'm trying to remember because I think it might have been like they don't have one of the two sounds in their language. Like it might be the Chinese don't have the R sound and the Japanese don't have the L sound, but I'm not too sure about that. I'm just trying to think of things that have
I'm sure
those
it's something like
sounds in
that.
them.
I don't know.
Because I can think of Japanese words that have R in them, but can't really think of anything that starts with L. And
So I have this story that I was going to tell that happened to me yesterday when I went to the gym. So I went after work, so I was kind of tired, and I went, and the first thing I did was I ran, and got a good run in, kind of got over those humps where you like get tired, then you keep going, you got tired, and I kept going, got a good run in, then I lifted some weights, and then I was super tired, so it's like, all right, let's go into the sauna, and then let's go take a shower, like let's relax for a little bit. So I go to my locker, and my locker was like in the corner. So you know how lockers are, like they're basically like it was in the corner of lockers, and so there's this guy who's using the locker next to my locker, and so his locker's open, so I can't really get to my locker because he's kind of in the way. Like his locker's open, and he's like standing in front of my locker.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well that's fine. I'll just wait for him to finish up, and then I'll walk over there because it'll be fine, right? I'll just wait for him to finish.
Fine. Take like a minute maybe.
Yeah, so he didn't take a minute. He was literally there for like 10 minutes in his locker. His locker was open and he was just standing in it. Okay? Now here's the thing. I would have gone up to him and just tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, let me, can you
Oh,
scram
but he
so
was
that I
naked,
can get...
wasn't he?
Yeah, he was completely naked. But he was, the thing that made it so weird is like, he was completely naked. He was standing in his locker, but he was just like standing there. Like standing, like looking in his locker, naked, with it open.
Was he
And
like
I was like,
rummaging
what is
through it?
he doing? He was literally there for like 10 or 15 minutes. And I sit back and I wait.
15
He just
minutes,
stays
really?
there. And it was a pretty long time. It was a long time, dude. It was like unbelievably long.
So was he like rummaging through his locker, or was he just standing there looking
it was
at
it was like he was in slow motion. So it was like he was going through his stuff, but at like a third of the speed. So it was just like his hands were moving slow. And here's the problem: he's naked, so I can't just like look
don't
at
want to
him
engage
and glare at him. You know what I mean? Like it's everyone in the locker is gonna see me just like
stare at him.
burning him with my eyes. Right? I can't do
Staring
that.
down
And
this
the other
naked
side,
man.
because if he wasn't naked, I would kind of like look at him and be like, "Hello, I gotta get through." Like, hey, but he's got no clothes on. So I'm standing there waiting for him, and I was like, "Are you cooking meth in there? Like, what is going on?" He's just sitting there, and he's like, it's like he was like building a Lego set in there, you know? He's just sitting there like moving, doing something or whatever, just forever. And so then I'm not kidding. When it literally was like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. It was a really, really long time. And I eventually kind of like went, I don't remember if I like just grabbed the lock next to his shoulder and kind of jiggled it so he heard it. And then he kind of like looked over and was like, oh, just get my locker, you know? But I was thinking about it, and when I'm walking somewhere, or I'm getting out of the car, or I'm eating food, or I'm walking to get food, or I'm drinking water, I'm always moving quickly.
A side note, I was thinking, so I was just imagining what that guy was thinking. Like, what if he was like, oh man, like I'm trying to get my clothes on, but this
I need
dude
this guy
is
to
just,
leave the room.
this dude's just standing here watching me, and I know I'm already naked, but it's also weird for me to put my clothes on.
He's like, I can't turn around until he leaves the room.
It's kind of like when you're working on something, and like your boss comes by while you're working, and you kind of like start slowing down because you don't really want them to see you working. You feel weird about it, so like you're just like kind of waiting for them to go. He's just like going as slow as he can, like maybe he'll leave, but you never
Really? He's like, what is this guy's problem? How
You're
long
like-
is he going to wait?
You're like, how long is this guy gonna be here? He's like, how long is this guy gonna be here? And you're like, he's naked. And he's like, I'm naked.
That's right. It was a total misunderstanding.
You guys are both just waiting for the other one to leave.
Right. What I was going to say, though, is I realized I do a lot of things very quickly, and some people do it so slow. I knew this one girl, and her and I were going to go out in the snow. Like, this was in Virginia. We were going to go out and, like, play in the snow. Oh, man. Like, she just was putting on her jacket and her hat, or, like, a sweater, a jacket, and gloves and a hat. Oh, and it took her, like, an hour. And I'm not kidding.
Like that.
It literally took her like an hour.
You're my friends.
It took her so long to get
I have
ready.
friends like that. It's also like those people.
I'm like, let's go.
Those people also, they wait till you get
The snow is going to melt.
They also wait till you get there before they start getting ready. Like I have a friend. Like I'm like, all right, man, I'll come pick you up at like. Say we're gonna pick up at 8. I get there at 8, and he's like just woke up. And I'm like, all right, bro, like let's go. Like we're going now. This is the time. I didn't mean I'll get there and we'll hang out for 2 hours and then we'll go. Like you gotta.
Yeah, if someone had ever said to me, like if someone was at my house and was like, we're gonna leave at a certain time, they got there and I wasn't there, or I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't ready to go.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever said to me like, Luke, let's go. Like we have to go. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
I'd be like
My
the
bad.
Flash.
Like, my pants on. Let's go.
You know?
Yeah.
But some people, I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm about to compliment it in a little bit, but I'm just saying like for me, it's like, are you in slow motion?
See, I'm in the middle.
Let's go.
I think I kind of like meander through some things. Like when I'm like doing tasks, I kind of go kind of slow. Like if I'm painting, like I do like painting with like houses and stuff. I go kind of slow, but it's just because I'm like trying to concentrate and like I'm not really, I don't know. I never really feel rushed. But if I'm like preparing for something, I always try to make sure I have enough time to get ready. Like, so I get done by a certain time. I'm not like, oh yeah, like I leave at 3, so at 2:50 I'll start getting ready. I'm like, okay, by 2 I should get ready. I should have everything done by like 2:30.
When you go to the gym, do you change at the gym or do you change beforehand?
I usually change at the gym, but it takes
'Cause
me like
for
2
me,
seconds.
Here's what I want you to. Yeah, I was about to say that. It's like if you picture, hey, person, like picture this person existing, right? And you said, all right, you need to get into the locker room and get changed. And if you don't get changed fast enough and get out of the locker room, the whole locker room will blow up. Now picture how that person puts their clothes on, okay, in the gym. That's like me. I'm like, go, let's get the workout going. Like that's how I'm moving. But some people, they're just like totally relaxed and like slowly moving. And I
Slowly
think
stripping.
what I don't understand is because I was so angry a couple weeks ago because I went to the gym and I basically brought everything. I'm gonna make this story short. I basically brought everything I needed, like to go to the gym and then go to work, and I was like on time and everything was going great. Till the very end, I realized I didn't bring any jeans to change into for work, and I work in an office, so I can't wear basketball shorts. So basically, I had nothing, and nothing was open.
Luke was
I
messaging us in the group chat. He was,
I was
so
so
mad.
angry, dude. I was livid. I was so angry because it was like I'm gonna lose all this time. I'm gonna hit traffic. Okay, let me.
All right, and then
So I'm driving back home, boiling, and I start taking some deep breaths and starting to kind of calm down. Go, okay, let's let it go, and relaxing. And then I kind of put myself in like this state of mind where I was like going slow and trying to do stuff slowly, and I thought in the moment because I felt kind of a little bit more peaceful, and I was like, no rush. I'm gonna get into the office when I get into the office, and all that stuff. And I thought, how in the world are people that move slow not happy all the time? Because like it's so not stressful, but it's so hard for me to not want to move fast. But like if I didn't care and I could just like mosey through life, just sway when I walk, like how are you not just totally like stress all gone, never need a massage or anything ever because you're just so calm?
I think it causes more stress because, like I said, I'm kind of in the middle. Sometimes it takes me a while to do things, and those times it stresses me out because I get like, oh crap, I'm late now, or I missed that thing.
Maybe they're miserable because people keep telling them to speed up.
Because of people like you, Luke.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have friends who most of my friends are the lollygagging types. Maybe I need some new friends. Like I have friends who are literally like the way they plan things. It's like when you say like 10 o'clock on Thursday, that means just Thursday. Like I'll probably be there on Thursday.
Probably. I love the probably.
Yeah.
The thing too is like I had people where it's like if they say I'll leave in 10 versus I'll leave in like 10. 100% different.
Yeah.
And one means I will leave in 10 minutes. The other means I could be there at some point today, maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of freeing though, because if you have friends like that and you're hanging out with them, you're like, okay, there's no rush. If I get there 3 hours late, they'll probably just be waking up anyway, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but for me,
For you,
it gets in the way because I might be trying to do other things in the day.
yeah, those kind of friends you gotta just that's their day. Like, all right, this is Slow Friend's day. I'm gonna hang out with him indefinitely and probably.
It's like I have 4
hopefully.
friends, okay? I have 4 people I want to see today. And if I just devote all day to taking forever to see one, then I can't see the other ones.
Yeah, it's true. That's selfish.
All of
slow
these are
friend.
problems I don't have because I live in a room by myself.
Well,
Yeah, but if you had more than one event, like it was like, oh, I'm going to see
Luke's
this movie
friends
at
are
9.
not all in his room.
I know. My friends aren't in my room either.
That's good.
It's like, my friends aren't anywhere.
That'd be weird.
Exactly.
Well, you need to go out and get some more friends.
Yeah. Boy.
Find some slow people and make you their friend.
Or some fast people. Fast people are like, come over right now. I can't. Now! Okay. All right. I think that if I could slow down a little bit, it'd be good for me. I just really do get like a rush from doing things quickly and getting stuff done. But you do crash. I feel like that's kind of the trade-off. Is there's been a couple times this year where I was doing so many, trying to like just trying to be productive. Like I'll go to work and then I'll go to the gym and then I'll come home and work on the podcast and then I'll do my vlog and then I'll do my short and like just trying to do as much. And I'll practice guitar and I'll talk to these people and then go out to eat, and it's like all this time, like all this stuff is just going crazy. So I would keep doing this stuff and moving really quickly, and then before I knew it, a day would come where I'd just be wrecked and I'd be so tired and I couldn't, I couldn't handle it at that point.
I feel like I had a week like that the other day. Like it was super.
I had a week like that the other day.
Oh, it still happened.
Dang, that sounds rough.
You must have been going really fast if it was a whole week in one day.
I had a whole week of doing nothing in a day. Now, like the last just couple months, I've been super busy. And last week it was just like I was so tired I couldn't do anything. Like I would work and then just do nothing. It was kind of awesome, but also kind of depressing because I was like, man, I'm just here doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I prefer to. I like my life more when I'm more productive.
Yeah.
But there is a line where I will crash, where I get kind of like anxious because it's just too much to think about, and that's not good.
I mean, there was one time I went off into sort of a kind of forest area, left my phone at home and everything, and I just sat against a tree for a while, and that's a good thing to do every once in a while.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something like, and then I woke up like 10 hours later. I was like, man.
That's right. He was like, and I was so anxious that I chopped the tree down, and then
that reminds me of the time in my stress management class at college. There was a day where they had us meditate, and for me, that was just like being a spring that was just being compressed.
What?
Like they're like, just sit there and be quiet yourself, just be calm. And for me, it was like being a spring and just having something.
Don't tell me what to do.
It's like I can feel my body shaking, my fists are tightening.
No. It's like, all right, just relax, calm down. Don't you tell me to calm down.
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
That was like the most stressful class I think I ever had.
So, Austin, if you can give us an example of a class that stressed you out the most. Meditation.
Well,
Stress
the big reason it stressed me out is
out.
that was the year I was doing ROTC, and ROTC had not told me that on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday morning at 6 o'clock they have PT. And they did not tell me that Wednesday is the day they have the AGR, which is the group run, where you run 4 miles in a group.
Heck yeah.
So you have to keep pace with everybody else. So you want to get a
Fit
good night.
fam.
You want to get a good night's rest the night before.
Right.
I did not know any of this happened, so I scheduled a stress management class at started at 7 Tuesday night and ended at like 10 o'clock.
Dang, dude.
That's 3 hours. That's stress
know.
management. They're like, we figured that the best way to handle your stress is to expose you to a lot of stress, and then that way you can learn to deal with it.
I mean, it wouldn't be a problem if it was like, I want to go home and get some sleep because in like a couple hours I'm going to be up and running. Oh, and it's also because, I think it was 6 hours because I had to get up at 4:30 because if I tried to get up at 5, I'd be late because of ODU traffic.
Gross.
So yeah, it was the most stressful class I think I ever had.
Stress management. That's pretty funny actually.
Yeah.
I had one more little bit to the rushing, like trying to run around type deal where you're trying to go fast and people are moving slow. I was at this like, gotta go faster. So I went to this stadium. It was like for an Amazon party type thing, and like basically Amazon threw this big thing, and I got invited and I got to go, and it was
Cool.
at the Seahawks stadium, and I was in the stadium. It was really like elbow to elbow people, and so if you're trying to get through the stadium, you gotta kind of like do what you were talking about, like the shark thing with your hands. You're like weave
Like snake
between the
through them.
people. So I'm with my friends, and I'm leading the way. I'm kind of like sharking through the people. And, you know, I feel like in a crowd like that, you should expect people to kind of like brush past you because you can't. What am I going to be like? Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Like, there's too many people.
Yeah, that's not much.
So
you
I
can do.
brushed past like some people, and I may be going a little bit fast or something like that because I'm trying to get through, and I'm
You walk
I'm
fast.
thinking
You've
a little
established
bit
this.
more about me than I am other people because I'm like, well, I want to get where I gotta go. I gotta get there,
Selfish.
So I walk past some people, and I kind of brush by this like elder guy. He's probably 40 or something like that, and like he got pissed off, and I would have thought if you got pissed off, you'd be like, hey, watch it, buddy, or something, like yell at me or something, and then I yell back at him, or even honestly, I'd probably say sorry because if someone called me out, but instead of yelling at me, he just kind of like passive aggressively kind of starts like elbowing me, like, I
Wait,
got
are
you
just
now.
like, are you standing by him? At
I
this
know.
point?
I'm like trying to get by him, so I'm kind of like rubbing against him, like rubbing past him and other people because it's literally like you're like sardines. So I'm just like
Yeah.
you know,
Just trying to get
pushing
through.
past people. And he starts like elbowing me. And so I turn around and I'm not even mad. I just look around like, what? I gave him like these eyes like, what are you doing, man? So I laugh and I turn around to my friends and here's where like my annoyance is more of like, well, I'm going to call him out a little bit because it's kind of annoying. I was like, this guy's just like elbowing. Like I didn't point at him, but I'm with my friends like, some guy was just like elbowing me in the crowd. Like, come on, man. Like, we're elbow to elbow. What am I supposed to do? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess I'm stuck here. Like, I'm in the middle of in the stadium. I can't leave. Everyone's there. I'm trying to go home. I can't. Just can't leave. I can't touch anybody.
Yeah.
It's just weird, man. Passive aggressive is like just. I'd almost prefer someone just to, shout at me or something.
You're gonna be aggressive.
Yeah.
Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
You're like, we're in a football stadium. You should be aggressive.
Mosh.
He was being offensive defensively.
That's always annoying. Passive aggressiveness is it's
So
really annoying
would
because
this be a case of the best offense is a good defense, or the best defense is a good offense?
the best offense. Would be a good
His
offense.
best offense was not a good defense.
His best offense is also a terrible offense. It's like I'm gonna elbow him. That'll show him.
Yeah, really, his offense was a really bad offense.
That'll show him who the bigger man is. He got
I
some
know. I
huge
can't believe that,
elbows.
dude. That was so. It was so petty. It felt so childish.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
you don't
really
have.
weird.
I feel like you should. Oh, I don't know.
I get really annoyed when anybody gets like, I don't know. I really judge people who don't control their emotions well in public. Because I feel like part of like being a man, like specifically, is that you control your emotions. So you don't let them get the better of you. Whenever I see a grown man like out in public, like throwing a fit or like yelling at somebody, I'm just like, dude, what? Like, I don't even know what to do.
It would be like if.
I think
If-
you
if-
should smack them.
Okay, let's think
let
about
your
it. Instead of-
emotions
yeah,
run
really.
free.
Yell, Michael. You should yell at them. Okay, so I was thinking that like, as an example, it'd be like if someone was like, I don't want anybody to see me punching this person, so I'm just gonna flick them in the ear. And it's like, oh, that's such a bitchy thing to do. Come on, like at least
Punch me in the face.
I have less respect for you because you're trying to get away with it. Like you're just being sneaky. That's kind of what it felt like. Like you're trying to be sneaky about it because you don't want to admit that this is what you're doing. But that to me is like, oh, come on, man. At least call me out. Don't hide. Like you're like hiding behind the wall, like doing it instead
Yeah.
of coming out in open and being like, all right, I'm annoyed at you and I'm going to call you out, as opposed to being like, I'm going to call you out quietly, but I'm not going to let anyone else know.
Hey,
I don't know. It just kind of.
he's being a jerk. Look at him.
Yeah, it's just like,
elbow him in the face.
I don't know. It felt really immature to me.
Yeah, that's dumb.
But anyway,
People are dumb.
that's the other thing I had written down. So, all right, what do you guys want to talk about now?
Well, we could talk about being a man and how being a man is not. I don't know.
I don't know if I want to go down that road. 'Cause Luke always angers people by talking about that.
Yes.
I mean,
Anyway.
well, I did have a note here to talk about my situation that happened to me at the bar today.
Oh yeah.
So I wasn't drinking because it was just lunchtime, but I went to the bar to get food, and so I just was sitting there at the bar, and I saw this girl, and she was really cute. She looked
But,
like
yeah, I was thinking that when you told me like you were at the bar, I was like, "What time is it in Seattle? It's in the past right
Oh,
now.
right. Can
like
you
it's
settle
way too
down?
early. Like, bro.
yeah, it was like 1. It was like 1 o'clock, but I was just getting food.
Okay.
I
Cool.
mean, she got a beer though. I don't know what she was doing, but
Dang.
and
Also,
she's
just
really
said
cute.
KK by accident. That was weird.
Oh no.
I was thinking like okay, but I said KK like one word. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway,
I forgive you.
I'll let it slide.
Speaking of being
So I'm sitting at the bar, and okay. I said this 3 times. She's really cute. She looked like Emma Stone.
Wow, that's
Like with the big eyes. Yeah, the big eyes, and like she really was. She was really, really cute. And I kept thinking when I should just go over and say something to her. She's sitting by herself. She's got a beer. She's sitting there by herself looking at her phone. I should at least just go say hi. Because, like, why not? Like, okay, well, maybe she won't like that, or she'll think I'm being a creep, but then she can be like, I think you're being a creep. Or, or just, like, not give me a good body language. Like, she doesn't seem interested in talking to me, and that's like, okay, well, goodbye. But at least I said something, right? Because the other side of it is I do say something, and she, like, wanted me to come up and say something to her. And so what I told Michael and a couple other guys in the chat today was like, I'm trying to... Oh, actually, well, before I get to that. So she was sitting there and I was sitting there, and I finished eating. I gave my card to the guy, and I kind of told myself, I don't know if this was a lie, that like when I got my card back and signed my check, that I would get up and I'd walk over to her and say something like, tell her like I liked her eyes or whatever, because I did. Yeah. And then just see what happened, and then see where the conversation goes. Because I feel like that's where, you have balls if you're going to go up and just say something, because it's really nerve-wracking. It's really scary to say something like that.
Yep.
But I kind of like made excuses like, well, maybe, I'll just wait. Well, let's just see if I can make eye contact. Like make these stupid excuses that we all know are not really good excuses. They're just excuses that I'm making because I'm nervous and I don't really want to go over there. Right. And so before my card came back, she like paid in cash and left. And so I just watched her leave, and it was like, you blew it. Like that's what it felt like. It was like, way to go. And what I said to Michael and everyone else in the group chat was just that I'm trying to not make excuses about why I didn't do it to make myself the better man, and own up to the real fact was just like, yeah, I was nervous and I just didn't do it. And that's that. I think that I should feel bad about that in a way, because I let the fear of rejection kind of get in the way of me just taking what could have been a really good opportunity. Like, who knows? I might be talking to her right now. I might not. I probably wouldn't be. But what if I was? Because I just took the opportunity. That's what I was saying in the group chat. So
that's so
the story.
I do it all the time, man. I'm like, I always like play the long game. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, well, next time I'll see her again sometime in the future. Maybe in like 2 years. Maybe never. You never know. But then that time, I'll smile at her. And then the next time, wait for it, I'll smile and wave. And then from then, it'll just blossom into a beautiful relationship.
And that's right. It's true. And like what I was saying the other night was that I have found that it's not good to do that. Because I do that sometimes too. I like take it. I do like taking it a little slower sometimes, but it tends to not work well. It's like I feel like it's usually better to just grow up and make a move, because I think that is the part that we kind of lie to ourselves about, because it really comes down to like, yeah, I'm just nervous. I don't really want to say anything yet. And I think that it's important to acknowledge that and feel a little bad when you let that get the better of you. That's what I was saying earlier today, where I was like, I think I was just nervous and I let that get the better of me, and I should have said something even if it didn't go anywhere. And I used the excuse of, oh, well, she probably would have been annoyed if I said something, or she probably thought I was a creeper. Like, yeah, okay, that's your excuse because you're nervous.
You're right.
And if that is true, then you'll figure that out by the way she reacts when you say hi. But there's nothing wrong with saying hi, right?
Yep, I think you're right. But also, I guess, like, also...
Yes, there is.
Okay, go ahead. What's wrong?
Oh, no, I'm just being contrary.
Well, I was going to say, like, yeah, in general, I think doing something is better than not doing something almost every time. But also, at the same time, like, sometimes you got to be more wise. Not that situation wouldn't have been wise for you to say hi to her. But sometimes you're like, oh, I should go talk to this person, but you're like, I don't know, like, they're like in a hurry. I might just annoy them more than help them, and then they would have a tainted view of me forever, and if they saw me again, they would hate me. Or like, oh man, like, I don't want to scare this girl, like, it's like nighttime. If I go talk to her, she'll think I'm like a strange man trying to rob her. And that might not be a good time. So you just got to use your judgment, and if it's like, hey, this is a good time, then do it.
I mean, like, I just think, like, in something so simple like that, that generally you're, I don't know. I just was thinking about that today, and because I I want to be honest about it because it's more of like, do you have a backbone? And are you manning up and making a decision and going for it, as opposed to being like, well, no, I'm just being patient. Are you, or are you just nervous? No, I just want the long run. Okay, maybe you do want that, but you're also just nervous. And that's something I think that is kind of the slap in the face that I think that I need sometimes. Just being like, admit it, you're just nervous, and that's it.
You're scared.
Yeah. Which, it's rough because it is nerve-wracking. You don't want to get rejected.
Yeah, girls are scary, man.
I was thinking about it. There was someone said the other day that what they did to kind of counteract that is they had like 10, like a group of guys, and to kind of conquer their fear of rejection, they all had to go out and they had to ask 10 different girls for their numbers.
Mm.
And they didn't have to get 10 numbers. That wasn't the point. The point was like, you need to conquer your fear of being afraid and go say hello and just at some point ask for their number. And if they say no, then that's it. Oh, okay, sorry. Well, that's fine. And they leave. Like, it's not nothing creepy or weird. It's just like, get over that fear, because especially, the way the world works, you're going to get rejected by girls a lot. And that's not always really a good or bad thing on their part or your part. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, as hard as it is, and as much as I'm working on it as anybody, it's good just to be comfortable with that, because it's going to happen. So you might as well get it over with. And it's not that bad either, because I've been rejected before. But, I'm still nervous about it, because I'm a human.
Yep.
So.
Humans hate that.
Humans hate rejection. Yes, I do. So anyway, I just thought that earlier today. I figured I'd bring that up. I don't know if there's anything to go with or anywhere to go with that. But.
You've been doing a lot of self-reflecting lately. I'm proud of you. You want to get
Yeah, I think this has been my year of like trying to figure a lot of that stuff out. So
that actually reminds me of like kind of a side note, but earlier we kind of like alluded towards like what is being a man and stuff. I remember a while back I was thinking about this because a lot of times we try to define manliness, and especially now like what is manly is like even more ambiguous, because there's different kind of men, like just on the masculine spectrum, and there's like men who identify as women or identify as certain sexualities. Like there's lots of different things, but like I think like the definition of manliness is like discipline. It's like the amount that you discipline your mind, your body, and like your spirit. So like trying to challenge yourself mentally, be as smart as you can, be as like well versed and as much knowledge as you can pertaining to what you care about, being as strong as you can be, like even if you're handicapped, being as strong as you can be and as healthy as you can be even with your handicap. And then spiritually, if you're religious, like getting like as in tune with your spiritual whatever as you can, or connecting with other people as much as you can. I think it's like discipline is the key to manliness, and that can be discipline in conquering your fears, discipline in working hard, discipline in getting up and working out, discipline in working out the right way, discipline in learning everything.
Well, someone was saying to me that like, okay, that was not true. I worded that wrong. No one said it to me. I heard someone say it. It's like they didn't say it to me specifically, but I was listening to something and they said that, and I said this in the last podcast, but I'm going to say it again because I think it's important to kind of note it. I didn't actually. I feel like I didn't word it well last time, but they basically said that you can live your life as though, nothing matters. The world's going to end.
Yeah.
You're just insignificant. Nothing you do matters. And so then you get upset and you get entitled. Oh, nothing matters. You just kind of shrivel up and then that's it. Versus every single thing you do matters. Like those are two different mindsets to have, because my decisions right now are going to dramatically change where I end up in the next 5 years. Right now.
Yep.
So I can exercise, I can eat right, or I can choose to not eat right and not exercise. I can work hard. Like all these different things where it's like, whatever I decide to do right now makes all the difference. My whole life. It's going to change my entire life. Whatever I do this second. And part of me is just trying to acknowledge that. And so, especially at 26, it's like, well, all those things that I kept saying, I'll get to that. I'll figure that out. And it's like, well, you might want to figure them out right now, because when are you going to do it? If not right now. And so that's just kind of where I am.
True that. That's kind of where I'm at too. Trying to get your life where you want it to be.
That's the 20s. That's what your 20s are like. You know, so to quote Spider-Man, these are the years you become the person you're going to be for the rest of your life. So be careful who you turn into.
Yeah.
And work hard to be the person you want. I added on that last part. But
Hopefully you turn into Spider-Man.
same principle. If I had my way,
I don't know.
it would be
'cause
nice to shoot spiderwebs, but I don't know if I want to be Spider-Man.
he does have a lot of angst.
Well, I don't want to be Peter Parker. I just want to be Spider-Man.
That's right. Just Spider-Man. So, okay, guys, let's wrap up this podcast.
All right.
Austin, do you have any plugs?
No.
Michael,
I need to get some though. That's the man I want to be.
get some plugs, man. Really, that's kind of odd. Like, I feel like to be a man, you have to have lots of plugs. What are you
Isn't that also like a word for like hair
talking
implants?
about?
Yeah, I need more hair.
That's right. That's right. Plug
It's
it
not
up.
long enough.
All right, Michael.
All right. Follow me on the Instagram. My name's Michael Demas. MYKOLDIMAS. You can see everything I'm doing there. I'm playing with a band called Keycentric right now. We're playing at the Sunrise Festival on April 21st at 3 o'clock. It's on the Virginia Beach oceanfront. It's like a big Christian like music thingy. Lecrae is going to be there. Other bands that are also big are going to be there.
Oh,
It's going to be cool. And we're going to be there, so it's even cooler. So if you go to sunrisemin.org, that's SONRISEMIN.org, type in the code KEYCENTRIC, like KEYCENTRIC, you get $5 off your ticket. It's like an all weekend event, so it's going to be cool. It's like Friday through Sunday, I think. Yeah. Come
awesome.
check that out and follow me on Instagram to see what else I'm doing.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram at Luke Roxwold, and you can follow me on Twitter at Luke Roxwold, and you can follow my vlogs on YouTube, Luke Roxwold Vlogs, and we finally released the date of the premiere of Thread. Woo! So, April 22nd. My
Sweet.
movie is finally coming out, so I'm really excited. Still have some problems I have to work through, but we've decided that that's when it's coming out, so if I don't figure out those problems, it doesn't matter. The movie's coming out. So, really, really excited to get that
for
film
that.
out of my life forever. So, look forward to that, guys. We are going to be premiering it in the Seattle what is it? The Seattle Film Institute. So, it's actually a theater. I'm really excited.
Cool.
And it's going to be online as well. So, but that's a little bit more hushed because I want people to come to the premiere, so I don't want to tell them it's going to be online. So, you can also follow our Twitter at WAITSB Podcast and tweet us. Tell us what you think of the episode. Hey, that was like when we were talking about sneezes that last time.
It's like yelling.
So out of nowhere. Ah! Yeah, that's it. And you can also follow us on Instagram at WAITSB Podcast. Like our pictures and tell us what you think of the podcast, guys. Leave us a review. Thanks for listening so much. That's the end. Outro music.
Outro.